Hello everyone, welcome to this video series on business plan writing. This video is titled How to Write a Compelling Business Plan, and this is specifically, maybe specially for the Tony Lumelu 2022 applicants. So those who are doing the Tony Lumelu, participating in the TEF 2022. And this is especially for you, but of course anybody can use the template or whatever I'm going to share today to write their business plan absolutely correctly. So this is how to write a compelling business plan, and I hope you will find value in this video. I'm just going to go straight into it. My name is Gabriel Onwaha. I would like you to subscribe to this channel so that you get more content like this. Like this video so that other entrepreneurs will be able to see it on YouTube when they seek for information like this. And also share this video so that other people in your network will be able to benefit from it. So here's the button there to subscribe to my channel. Let's grow this channel upwards all the way to the top, right? So without further ado, without wasting time, I have a lot to discuss today, so I don't want to waste a lot of time. So let's get into the video. I'm going to walk you through the business plan template, and I want to use the same template used by the Tony Lumelu Foundation in their business plan masterclass, right? Because I don't want to confuse anybody here. I want it to benefit as much as possible those who are applying for the Tony Lumelu Foundation, because like I've told you in the previous video, you need to follow instructions correct directly from them. The template they use is fantastic, so there is no need to change things. I'm just going to use the template, but I'm not going to just break everything down and walk you through every step of the way on how to write your own business plan. In the previous video, I showed you how to use storytelling, to gather the information you need to write the business plan. Now this is the time to use those information you have gathered in order to write your business plan. So I'm going to show you how you're going to fix each one of those aspects of those 5 W1H that you generated in the last video and impute them into this business plan in order to generate a full business plan. I want you to note that what we're doing now is not the business plan the summary template, right? This is not the business plan summary template that Tony Lumelu is requiring from you. This is a full business plan. Why am I doing it this way? I believe that if you have to get it correct with your business plan template, you have to be able to write or have an idea of what your full business plan is. The business summary template is actually a summary. It's supposed to be a summary of your business plan. So you are expected to have written a whole business plan before you can summarize. Otherwise, you may not get the whole picture correctly. But of course, some persons may. But I believe this is the right path to follow. It is hard, it is difficult, but then let's do it. And in the next one, I'm going to now do a whole analysis of the business plan, right? So let's go. So this is the outline, the sections of the business plan, the most important sections of a business plan. You have the executive summary, which is then you have the company description, you have the products and services, you have market and industry analysis, you have operational plan, you have management team, you have milestones. There may be other names if you're not a Tony Lumelu Foundation applicant. There may be other names that may be associated with a business plan, but one of they somehow fall into any of this category, any of these topics listed here. So but basically these are the things you want to look for and deal with in a business plan. So we have broken them down into these 7 topics or 7 subheading or sections of your business plan. And if you can carefully capture everything that is in these 7 sections, you will be able to have written a good business plan that any investor or funder will be interested in reading and supporting you with funding, right? Okay, so let's break each of them one after the other. So look at the executive summary. Surely an executive summary is just a summary of the whole business plan. written in words. It's supposed to be a two page or less. It should be 2 page or less, and you are expected to bring. It is most times what most investors read. Most times they read only the executive summary. So you need to be written in active tense, especially for existing businesses. It needs to be written in active sense, and even for new businesses, it needs to be written in active tense, not sense, sorry, tense, right? So it should contain the objective of your business, it should contain the product and your market, it should contain your plans and a summary, of course, of your plans and your goals. And a tip from the Tony Elumelu Foundation said that you provide a snapshot of your business idea. Someone should, after reading your executive summary, should be able to understand exactly what your business idea is about, or what your business is about, and what you plan to do with your business. The person should be able to understand whether you're seeking funding to start the business, or you're seeking funding to expand some aspect of the business. So what plan of action do you have about your business? So you need to be stated in your executive summary. Now you should have brief notes on your product. What product do you have? You should have brief notes on the market. Who are you targeting with the product? And you should also briefly talk about your competitors. Who are the other people in the business with you who are also providing the same product or service that you're providing, and who you're going to compete with for customers and for customers' money, right? You should also talk about your plans, what you plan to do in the first quarter, in the second quarter, in the third quarter of at least 1 year, right? Depending on how long your business plan is covering. Some business plans are covering 1 year, some business plans are covering 5 years. So if it is a 5 years business plan, you should be able to briefly tell what is going to be captured within this period, each quarter of the period you're writing your business plan for, right? So a business plan should have a period, even though most time it's not stated in the business plan, but based on your financial projections, based on your revenue projections, there should be a time when you should have the numbers you are putting up for in your business plan. Then there is also financial projection, which also is in line with your plans, all right? A note on your plan. So you need to put figures around what your revenue, what your costs for the period will be, what your expenses, okay, of course that's part of your cost, what your income generation, how much revenue you would make within the period, and also how much profit you will make within the period, and what is your profit margins within this period. So you should be able to state it, and what your goals are. How much customers do you want to capture within the period? How much revenue do you want to generate within the period? How much staff do you want to empower within the period? So these things should be covered in brief notes. 1 or 2 sentences is enough to capture each of the things I have mentioned there, and when you do that, you see that a line is still enough for you to do all of this, right? So it should be brief. Like I said, it should be brief. Your executive summary should be brief and not more than 2 pages. It is best written last. Yes, it is best that you write your executive summary last, after you have written your business plan. So it is best that, okay, you're done writing your business plan, even though it is the first thing to appear in your business plan, it should be written last, because it is a summary of what you have written down, right? So this is it about your executive summary. The next section is the company description. Now this aspect is more or less about you, the entrepreneur, and the business you're starting. A description of your company. So you have to describe your company based on location, based on registration, incorporation details, and who is managing it, and what is the capacity, what is the biodata of the person who is managing the business. So as a tip on this, your company overview should include your year of incorporation, in which year is the business incorporated, Of course, what is the name of the business? In which year was it incorporated? What is the type of business entity? Sorry, this is business, not knowingness, something like that. So permit me to briefly correct it. So that's it now. Business entity, I've done the correction. So the type of business entity, is it a partnership? Is it a sole proprietorship? Is it a limited liability company? Is it a public company? Is it a limited by guarantee or whatever? So what is the nature of the business? What is the type of business that you have registered? What is the location of incorporation? In which country or state was it incorporated? Depending on the your local laws. So some laws require you to incorporate a business in the state. Some others require that you incorporate it as a nation. So you need to state which authority authorized the incorporation of your company. So company size, what is the size of your company? Is it a small business? Is it a medium scale business? Is it a large scale business? So based on the number of employees, you can now tell us it is a small company if you have less than 50 employees, right? So, and then ownership, who owns the business? How many people are shareholders in the company? How many people are partners if it is a partnership? If you're a sole proprietorship, what is your name? What is your location? What is your date of what do you call it now, experience in business, and all those other details, phone number, email address of your business and of your own too, right? So all of these things are supposed to be in your business or company description. Then your mission and your vision for your business. So as a tip here, Tony Elumelu Foundation says that mission statement of a global business connects to the quality of life outcome for customers, stakeholders, and society. So if you have a business, there are three people, there are stages of people. You have your customers, you have your stakeholders, that's your employees, your shareholders, the people who work in the business, right? And then the society. So your mission statement should be able to tell what is the quality of life outcome. What will your company be doing? How will it influence the quality of life of your customers, of your stakeholders, of the people who work in the business, and of the society at large? How does your business change the quality of life of people who consume your product or services, people who produce your product or services, who distribute your product or services, and people who have shares in your company, and people who are, of course, general members of the society? So this is what a mission statement should carry. So this is about your company description. It should state each and every one of this. Remember, we're talking about a detailed business plan. Now, the next is your products and services. So you can be a product-based company, you can be a service-based company, you can be both of them. So your product, this is, like I said in the last video, this is the core of the business. This is the business of the business. The product that you're offering to the public. What features does it have? What benefit does it give to those who consume it? How is it functional? What function does it perform? How are the functionalities of your product? For instance, if you have a laptop, there is a keyboard, right? There is a screen, there is a mouse pad, or what do you call it now? A mouse pad or something like that. So a click place pad where I can move my mouse and all of that. So these are features or functionalities of your business. And then you have ranges and prices, right? You may have product ranges, you may have ranges of services that you offer, So what make up the functionalities of your business, the ranges of the product or services that you offer, the pricing differences in your product or services that you offer, right? So your product or your services is your core offering for the business. So in this aspect, you will need to list, like I already stated, you will need to list, describe the product or service that you're offering, as a tip, you have to describe the product or services that you offer. You need to describe how they benefit the customers, what needs of those customers that this is satisfying. Of course, you already have your customer needs when you talked about what in the previous video. I talked about what, so you have already outlined what these things are, but in this place you need to describe them fully, what these product or services are and what they offer to the customer and what sets them apart from the competitor, right? Of course, you know there are other people who are also in the business that you are. So what sets you and your product or service apart from these other customers? So you may have variants of your products. You may have your product in different forms or different packages. Your products or services. Anytime I use the products, just know that I'm talking about both products or services. Any of them that you're offering. So you may have them in different variants. You may have them in different forms, in different sizes, in different packages, in different prices, right? So you need to describe each of the products sizes that you have, each of the product variants that you have, right? So, and then how these were driven, each of the packages is driven by the features that they have or how the features differentiate them. So if you have a package that is let's say maybe sizes, whether in sizes of kg, maybe they have the same features, everything. It's just that this one is 10 kg, the other one is 25 kg, right? So these are variants of your product, right? Then you can also have a product that is semi finished and the product that is finished. So because, for instance, if you have if you sell, what will I use now? If you sell chicken, you may be selling live chicken and you may be selling what do you call it now, dressed chicken. So this is a grown chicken is already a product that is ready. It's a product on its own. Then a dressed chicken is also a chicken, but then it has progressed in terms of the processes of making it a food, right? So you have moved a little bit, so the prices are definitely not going to be the same. So you're going to describe each of these. If you move it a little further to now sell ready to eat chicken, maybe what will I call them now? What do you call it? Roasted chicken or grilled? Yeah, that's the word, grilled chicken. So that's also another level of it. So you have a person who is selling, who is a poultry farmer who is selling chicken. He has live chicken. This is a different variant of chicken. He has what will I call it now, dressed chicken. I don't want to call it frozen because that's another level, is into a processing aspect of the business. And then you have grilled chicken, which is something that is already ready to chop. So all of these have their different prices. Then you can have this chicken also in different sizes. Maybe you package them. It may not be easy to package a live chicken, but as a dressed chicken you may have to package it. So the packaging now, that is where frozen comes in. So you might decide to dress all your chickens and put them in the fridge and package them in 1 kg, 2 kg, 2.5 kg, depending on the size of chickens that you're raising. So this is what I mean by variant. So each of them you will need to sit down and describe all of this and how this differ and how the prices differ for each of them. So describe your variants. Okay, so we move on to the market and industry analysis, right? So in the storytelling video, we talked about where that is describing your market, who is interested, where are you selling your product, where are you going to sell your product or service, who wants this product or services, and all that. So this is where you now get those information that you have gathered and then put them into practice. The market, like we already said, is the persons or places where you are able to sell your product or services. People who are interested, who are in need, or who want your product or service, those constitute your market. It may not necessarily be a place, it may not necessarily be a specific spot, but a collection of all the people based on their demography, based on their location, who are interested in the product you serve, you produce, or services you render. We call it market. So, and this is what we want to do now. Industry now is everybody who is in the same sector with you. We'll call them industry. So like I used a poultry in the previous video, we can call everybody who is into poultry that they are in the poultry industry. So you will need to analyze your industry, because factors that affect the other person, everybody in your industry, will definitely affect you. So you need to do that analysis. So as a way of doing it, as a tip in terms of doing it, you need to size your market based on the segment you can reasonably address. Now, we talked about in the last video, wait, let me drop this video and let me make this drop it so that it doesn't clutter everywhere. Alright, so this was exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted it to come out one after the other so that it doesn't clutter the place. I think this is okay now. So you need to size your market. What is the size of your market? And you need to size it based on the segment you can reasonably address. Now, markets can be broken down into segments. For instance, a person like the poultry example I was giving, if you are a poultry farmer, there are different segments of people who may be interested in your product. If you produce chicken, the guys who sell chicken are customers to you, right? There can be a segment of customers, so they want and need what you have. So the guys who sell chicken, you are a chicken producer. There are people who distribute, vendors. That's what we call them in Nigeria. The vendors are a segment of the market, and you can also segment them together with those guys who sell frozen chicken too in the market, who are looking for places to up their supply, right? So they can also constitute a segment of your market. Then you also have another segment of the market, fast food. People who are selling fast food everywhere in Nigeria or in your location, right? Most of them need chicken to serve their customers. So that becomes another segment of your market. Most times those ones, the people in the vendors want to collect the chicken as live. They don't need you to dress it. But those who are in the other segment, in the segment of fast food, they want you to dress it. Now, both of these fall into the business segment of your market. So you can also sub-segment them based on their needs, because the vendor wants to collect the bird live. He doesn't want you to kill it. He wants to collect it live. The person who is selling who is a fast food business person wants you to kill the bird. They don't want it live, right? So that's a different segment of the market. Then you also have the direct consumers, family people who want to buy chicken and eat. So those ones, their choices may be different. They may want it live. Some don't want it killed. Some don't want it killed. Some want it killed and dressed before they can buy, right? So you now see that you have different segments of the market. There may be other segments of the market you need to identify. So you need to identify these segments and reasonably size them. How many are they? How many are they in your location, right? How many vendors are there in your location? What is their demand size? How much chicken do they demand every day or every week or every month? Fast food, how much chicken do they demand? How many are they, and how much chicken do they demand every day, every month, every year, right? So which other people again that I mentioned? The family people, how much chicken do they demand on a daily basis, on a weekly basis? What is their purchasing power? So how many do they need every month? So that's how you want to do this. And then as another instruction or kind of tip also, you should avoid global or national market size. So most times when we ask of what is the size of your market, you begin to use the global market of poultry. That is too large. Not just too large, it's too far from you. So you want to use a market size that is as close as possible to you. If you're in Nigeria, for those of you in Nigeria, I don't know if you can use the size of the market of your state or region, depending on which part of the world you're listening to me from. That would be better because that is a market you can reasonably address. So it is more realistic to you. For instance, if you use the market, if you are in Edo State. Edo State is a state in Nigeria, right? And you want to do poultry analysis and you use the market size of Nigeria. We all know that Lagos and Kano are one of the largest consumers of poultry products in Nigeria. So you are including the size of the market of Lagos and Kano into your own market. All right. If you remove Lagos and Kano, you might see that the size of the market will significantly reduce. So while you're saying that the size of the market is 1 million, when you remove the Lagos market and Edo market, which is not and Kano market, which is not easily accessible, which you cannot easily address. These are markets you cannot easily address. You see that the size of the market significantly goes down, right? You see that the size of the market significantly goes down. So if you were projecting that the size of your market was 1 million, meanwhile, when you remove Lagos and Abuja and Kano that you cannot address, that that is in Edo State cannot address, you will see that it becomes any projection you would have made using the 1 million, assuming 1 million was a market size, I'm just making assumptions now, will have been very unrealistic for you to achieve. So it is best you use a market size. You try to estimate the market size based on your state or region. I hope that explanation is clear. So avoid using national or international or global market size to describe your market, your target market. So the next thing you need to do is to do a SWOT analysis of your business and your industry. And I'm quickly going to break this down. So what is SWOT? SWOT means strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. And this is done not just in business, but in business plan. This is very important. It's a very important analysis. So your strength is the internal factors in your favor, internal factors of your business that is in your favor, right? So, and what you need to do is to utilize those and improve on it, right? Improve on your strength, utilize your strength and improve on it. Utilize it to the growth of your business, to the advantage of your business. So you want to identify those things that are in your favor in your business and make sure you outline them in your business plan. Also as your strength in your business plan. The next is your weakness. The weakness are internal factors that are working against you, right? And you need to try your best to minimize them. Minimize any factors that are working against your business, internal factors that are working against your business. Now, the two similarities that strength and weakness have in common is that they are internal. They are within your control. So you can actually do something about them, right? You can actually do something about them. So that is why we are telling you to utilize your advantages, your strength, and improve it. So make sure that if they say you have experience in this particular business, that is a strength. Next, by the time you are growing your business, you want to have improved on your experience, or use your experience to teach people who are within your organization to, so use your strength to improve your weaknesses. I think that's the way to do it. Use your strength to improve your weaknesses. So if one of your weaknesses is that you don't have experienced staff, and one of your strengths is that you are experienced in the business, so you may want to use your own strength, which is the experience, and teach those who are your members of your staff, right? So that is a breakdown of what I mean by weakness in the SWOT analysis. Then the O is for opportunities, right? And now opportunities are external factors in your favor, and you need to take advantage of them. You need to take advantage of external factors in your favor. And then, for instance, I don't know any example I can give now. For a poultry business, right, that we have been using, the government has banned the importation of poultry in Nigeria is an opportunity for a poultry, so take advantage of it. The threats are the external factors working against you, so you need to find a way to militate against them, to avoid them so that they don't affect your business. So these are the things you need to outline in your business plan. So the next section is your operational plan. And in operational plan, we're talking about after you have put all the plans together, how do you plan to begin to walk the talk? the write-up. How do you plan to begin to execute what you have put in paper we have said with your mouth, right? So that's the operational plan, how to put to action what you have done. So in operational plan, you need to develop a production plan. How will you produce? So when we're talking about the storytelling aspect, this is where you put in the how, the answers you got from the how question, right? How, the processes, right? This is where to put them into action. So your operational plans, your marketing and advertising plan, how do you plan to produce? How do you plan to advertise and market your product or services? How do you plan to sell and distribute your product, right? So that's your sales and distribution plan. So you will need to come up with this, put them down, that in other words, you need to say from point A to point B, this is what you're going to do in order to produce, if you have product X, so you need to tell us, or product C, you need to tell us how you move from point A to point B to arrive at product C, right? So that is what your operational plan is about. It is about how do you produce, it is about how do you market and advertise, it is about how do you package your product, it is about how do you differentiate your services, right? It's about how do you sell it, it's about how do you distribute it. So in this place, it's talking about operational plans and all the rest of them. And then also in the operational plan, that's when your differentiations come into action. You begin to operationalize those things that you say differentiate you from the other competitors. You also need to put in plan how you know how to execute all those plans. Your unique selling proposition. If you say your unique selling proposition is accessibility, then we'll be able to see during your operational plan how you should be able to execute, how you will plan to make your product more accessible than any other person in your market. Now, the tip for your operational plan would be that you need to think of how you deliver on your value proposition, like I already said, through your operational plan or operating plan, right? So for instance, if you propose affordability, that your product will be affordable, more affordable than those in the market, it means that you have to find a way to lower your cost of production. You need to find a way to produce cheaply so that you can sell at an affordable price. You will not be selling at affordable price just to gain market size. By the time you get those people, the number of people to patronize you, by the time the number increases to a reasonable amount, you would have no product to sell because you will have run yourself out of business because you're producing high and selling low. It doesn't happen in business, and nobody will support your business with funding if you propose that you're going to produce high and sell low just to gain customer size. No. So you will have to figure out a way. If you want to sell, if your value proposition is to sell cheap, you will have to find a way to produce low, right? Either by reducing the chain of production, the production chain or the distribution chain of a business. For instance, at the tail end of a product distribution, if you're producing Coca-Cola today, at 50 naira, maybe it's getting to consumer at 100 naira or 120 naira because of the distribution chain. But if you as the producer now decide to break that production or distribution chain, you go directly you find a way to distribute your product straight to those who are consuming it. You may be able to sell at affordable price because you produce and lower your cost of production and distribution, right? So you may want to find a way, maybe if you cannot reduce your cost of production, you lower your cost of distribution by meeting your customers directly, right? So after the availability, if you propose that if your value proposition is around availability, that means your product will always be available, that anytime you want this product you will get it. So it means you're going to have to design a robust distribution network in your operational plan and improve your fulfillment strategy so that when someone makes an order, they are able to get it as soon as they desire, they want. So that's what availability means. And then accessibility means that, okay, you are going to be having multiple channels for multiple platforms and sales points, right? You're going to have multiple channels of distribution such that anybody can walk out of their house and find your product. For instance, Dangote is in every shop because they have a multiple channel of distribution. So your channel could also be online. All right, so you may want, because you're proposing that your product is going to be easily accessible, so you want to be in every social channel, right? You want to be on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, anywhere, so that anytime someone opens on social media, they are able to see your product or service, right? So that is also one thing you want to do if based on your value. So based on your value proposition, you want to develop an operational plan that will help you achieve your value proposition. It will be on paper. It will, if your evaluators see that, okay, you have proposed that your product is going to be affordable, but during your operational plan, there is nowhere they see that your cost is going to compensate for your price or your sales. It's not going to work out, or you are not putting affordability. Your product in the end is equal to or more than those in the market. It means you really do not understand what you're doing. So this is actually what you want to do. You want to make sure that your advertising and distribution tactics are also in tandem or aligns with your target market or product. So there are products you really cannot use these channels to distribute. For instance, you cannot use a shop to distribute real estate. You need people who are meeting people, going to meet people to go and talk to them, right? You need to advertise, right? You are not going to go to market to sell real estate. You go to find a shop in the market to sit down and say you're selling real estate. So that is if that is your operational plan for a product called like real estate, you know it will not work. So and nobody will support you based on that. So you want to make sure that not only is your channel of distribution accessible to your target market, the people who you intend to use. For instance, if your product is targeting old people, you may be in social media because maybe old people have their children in social media. But if it has to do something with directly that old people will only consume, you may want to find channels that reaches old people. If your product is distributing for is focused on the illiterate, you don't want to put something on social media. You want to go and meet them directly to sell to them, right? So because most illiterates do not understand the languages of the social media, right? So that is just what you want to do. You want to make sure that your product is channeled. And then if you study social media too, if you want to use social media, you understand that some social media are designed there to target specific type of people, right? So if you want to talk to professionals, if your product is targeted at professionals, you will not find a lot of them on TikTok or Instagram. You will find most of them on LinkedIn, right? So that is just one example. So we'll move to the next section, which is management plan, right? Your management plan. So of course, every business there has to be a plan for managing the business. Someone is supposed to be responsible for the day-to-day activities of the business, and specific production channels, specific aspects of your production, someone is also supposed to man them. So you want to develop a management plan for who will man each and every aspect of your business. So in doing this, you have to develop an organizational chart that shows what do you call it now? Organogram. That is how the chain of command is. What is the chain of command in your business? Again, this is what I wanted to achieve. Let's continue. So in your management and in the management team profiles, you need to showcase the skills and the experience of your management and leadership personnel that qualifies them or that equips them to bring value to your business. So we need to know exactly why this person is qualified to be the manager or the communication expert of your business, right? Then also you need to also outline the different roles that are available in your business, the different roles, and then you also need to do their respective responsibilities, what each and every one of them should be doing. Job description, in a nutshell, that's what I'm trying to say. You need to do a job description for each of the roles in your business, and then you need to show a clear chain of command in your business, what is called organogram, like I mentioned earlier, right? So an example of an organogram or organizational chart for a small real estate business is what is on display. So here you find the owner or the CEO, and then you have the marketing department, you have the office of the manager, transaction. So in case this person is not around, there is a person who is going to manage, and the manager is responsible for the office assistant and someone who is managing the payroll of the business. And here you have independent agents, right? Independent agents who are probably also going to work directly with the marketing person. So you have the independent agents who are the people who get the customers for them, right? So this is just an example of what an organogram should have. So you should have something like this for your own business. So we'll move again upward to the milestones and financial projections. So the milestones and financial projections. So the milestones, like I already explained what milestone is in the previous video. They break the small jumps for you to achieve your bigger goals, right? And then your financial projections. So when you're set up for a business, you need to make financial projection for your cost, for your expenses, and for your profit, right? What is it going to cost me? What am I going to gain from it? How much am I going to sell each of my products or services? So you do a quarterly milestone, you do a revenue growth projection. How is your revenue going to grow over time? And then you do a cost budget set up an operational cost, right? What is it going to cost you to run the business? So typically when you find operational costs to include your inventory, the things that you put into the business immediately, the cash that you have, the cost for equipment and furnishing and furnitures in your business, and the insurance. So these are some of the costs. And then if you subtotal it, this is not a typical one, but then it shows you exactly what you need. Then these are assets, right? These are assets in your business that you have. The product or services that you have in stock for a product company, the cash that you have at hand, the equipment and everything that your business owns at the moment, and then the lease that you have on your business, and then your insurance, right? Those things are assets. Your expenses are what you spend on permit and lease, the lease of your lease deposit, how much you have to pay in lease, and then your marketing cost, your legal and consulting and miscellaneous and every other thing. Those ones becomes your total or startup cost. And financing, how much where you're going to source all the money. For you who are applying for Tony Elumelu Foundation, or maybe you have here is owner's investment or owner's equity and maybe grant from the Tony Elumelu Foundation, that's what you need to include in your business plan. So in a nutshell, you will need to make sure that your quarterly milestones are specific and measurable. So of course, like I told you, milestones are just goals, but they are broken down into small steps that you are using to achieve your goals. But you were advised by the Tony Elumelu Foundation to use numbers liberally. Use numbers, not statements. Of course, goals are around statement, but then in the milestone, they expect you to use numbers. For instance, I gave examples in the last video, like you want to achieve so number of revenue within the so number of period. That is a milestone. If they give you a quarterly milestone like they stated here, so it means in the next 3 months. If you are doing for a 1-year goal, next 3 months is your first quarter, and all that. So you do your annual growth rates for cost and revenue. How is your cost going to grow over time? How is your revenue going to grow over time? And then make sure that they are true to market realities. So you look at what is the cost of your product, your core raw materials, how much are they costing in the market, so that you don't go and do projections that are not in tandem with the market. You also do the pricing of your product and the rest of them. Make sure your prices are competitive so that you don't over project your revenue or underestimate your revenue, right? So you also expected to reflect the cost of implication of your production, marketing, distribution. So all of these costs are real in your business. So your production cost, your marketing cost, your distribution cost, and how much these strategies will cost you should be in your profile, right? So you reflect on the costs, implications of your production, how much it costs you to produce, how much it costs you to market and distribute, even some cost in selling, right? So you want to make sure that all those costs are now reflected in your business. Of course, since you're writing a business plan, you're going to be making these costs as projections, no, not real cost now, because it's a business plan. So you're going to project how much these aspects of your business is going to cost you. So not just the production cost or the running cost of your business, you're also going to look at the cost of marketing, the cost of distribution, and the cost of production. And if you make any consultations, all those costs, you need to bring everything together, to project all those costs and then put them in the numbers that you want to use for your business, right? So this is it about the steps how to write a compelling business plan, right? So so far we have covered executive summary, which is something you should now start writing as soon as when you have finished your writing your business plan, finish writing every other aspect of your business plan, you can then begin to write your executive summary. So we said it's a summary of all the sections of your business and everything that gives a clear picture to anybody about clear understanding of what your business is about and all that. So we said, then we also talked about company description, which should give more information about your company and you, the owner, in detailed information about what the company is about, the name of the company, the location, incorporation status, and all that. So if your business is not registered, then you also need to state it in the thing that the business is not registered. But for Tony Elumelu Foundation entrepreneurs, you have been told to register your business, so this is not an option. You're not going to indicate that your business is not registered. You have to make sure your business is registered. And if you are yet to register your business, in a few minutes I'll tell you how to do that. Then the product or services, which is what I call the core, the business of the business, right? This is exactly what the business is about, your product or your services. We also covered the market and industry. We covered operational plan, covered management team, and then we also covered your milestones and your financial projections. So these are the things that we have covered, and these are the things that make up a business plan. So if you have written a business plan, it's not a rocket science to write your business plan. If you don't know how to do it, I'm giving you a guide on how to do it right now. So all you need to do is cover all these aspects of your business. Now, why do you need to write a full business plan? Says Tony Elumelu Foundation, especially for Tony Elumelu Foundation entrepreneurs. Why do you need to write a full business plan if they are not asking you to write a business plan? Number one, they are asking you to write a business plan summary template. So the truth is that you need to have written a business plan before you can get a summary. Like I told us that executive summary comes after you have written your business plan, right? So the business summary template is also supposed to come after you have written a business plan. So that's logical, right? So you summarize what is a whole. You don't summarize what does not exist. So that's the logic behind writing your business plan. Secondly, beyond the Tony Elumelu Foundation, whether or not you get the grant, this is an opportunity that you can explore. We already need, so you need to explore it in order to get funding from other organizations in case you miss out on this in the Tony Elumelu Foundation's grant. And if you don't have a business plan, this is your opportunity to write a business plan. If you don't have a business plan, you will not be able to meet anybody for funding. These ideas you have gathered together, you have put together through the Tony Elumelu Foundation, everything you have worked will just be a waste if you don't come out of this whole exercise with a business plan of your own. A business summary, I think Tony Elumelu is the only person that I've seen that asks for a business summary. Of course, they develop the template themselves. It will enable them, what do I call it now? Assess you easily, because there is a lot of people involved. But under normal circumstances, investors, funders, angel investors, they don't ask for business summary template. They ask for business plan, a pitch or a pitch deck, right? So of course, when we get to that, we will cross it. But this will help you if you have been able to write this business plan it will help you develop, it will help you have a business plan ready, such that whenever there's an opportunity, another funding opportunity, which you can go ahead and explore, and some of them I'll be also exposing in this channel, or there is an investor interested in investing in your business. And sometimes Tony Elumelu can contact you, there's someone interested in investing in your business. So you can just present a business plan you already written, so you don't have to go back and begin to think about it. If you don't write a business plan after you finish with the Tony Elumelu Foundation, whether or not you get the grant, you will have wasted that period, especially if you do not get the grant. So that's the essence of writing a business plan. So I expect you to sit down and do this business plan. So if you are in Nigeria and you want to register your business with the Corporate Affairs Commission, I have this offer that has been in place for the Tony Elumelu Foundation Entrepreneurs 2022, and that is to register your limited liability company 1 million shares capital for 45,000 naira instead of 65,500. So if you're interested, this is the number to call. There's also a link on the description that you can use to contact me straight on WhatsApp, so that we can discuss your business registration. If you want to register a business name, this is also the offer that is in for you. Instead of 27,000, you just have to pay 19,500. And this offer is closing, unfortunately, by the end of this month, May 2022. So if by the end of May 2022 you don't take this offer, it may not be continue to be available for you, especially for the Tony Elumelu Foundation Entrepreneurs. The Tony Elumelu Foundation Tony Elumelu Foundation expects you to submit a registered business, so that you can open a corporate account according to the instructions that I have given in the last few days, few weeks of their engagement with TEF entrepreneurs. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, and I want to thank you especially for watching. Subscribe to this channel, and in the next video we'll be going through the business summary template one after the other, so that we'll see how the information you have put here, we'll be able to use it to fill that business plan. Hopefully we'll have a demo business that we can use to do that. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.